Greetings, the Astro 30 here yet again, and welcome back to AEL. Now, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to look at a simple circuit that may prove useful in certain situations, and that is how to get a dual supply rail, that's positive minus voltage rails to power, say, op amps, off of a single winding transformer. That is, say, for instance, a plug pack adapter that provides an AC voltage out, say 12 volts. So how do we get plus minus, say, 15 volts DC after rectification and smoothing voltage rails off of a single 12 volt winding? Well, let's turn to the whiteboard. So we have our primary winding from the transformer now. This is going to be representative of a plug pack, not an actual mains transformer. You could do the same thing, but it's safer to use a plug pack. So you've got 240 volt AC coming in here, live neutral, going into our secondary winding, and we'll say that that's 12 volt, right? So we'll represent this as a box, meaning that this is a plug pack. Okay, so one of these windings is going to be going into our old friend, a half wave rectifier. The other end of the winding we're going to take out, and we're going to make that our 0 volt reference or ground. So we'll call that ground. This is going to form a positive voltage. But there's a problem. How do we get the negative voltage? Well, we just use another half wave rectifier. However, we reverse the polarity, and that will produce a negative voltage rail. The reason why we're using half wave rectifiers is because we can't full wave rectify it, because this transformer does not have a center tap, and for full wave rectification to get both the plus minus voltage rails and the 0 volt rail, you need that center tap to give it its halfway voltage reference point or ground. So this solution is the best we can do with a single winding transformer. Now we can add in obviously some filter capacitors here on the DC rails, as we would in a normal bipolar power supply. Now this is okay for powering low current applications such as a few op amps. It's not good for high current applications, mainly because of the transformer's regulation will start to drop the more current is drawn, and because of the half wave rectification here, it's not very efficient. Because the problem with half wave rectification is we've got on the positive going cycle, if these capacitors weren't here, we've got what would look like that on every positive peak with a dead spot in between. And conversely, on the negative, we would have the same sort of thing. So when this is going positive, this is dead, and when this one's going negative, this is dead. So as the transformer swings positive on the secondary, this diode will conduct, and when the same node point swings negative, then this diode will conduct, and that's how we get the two different voltage rails here. So apart from the fact that it's limited in its current abilities, it is perfectly fine for using in situations where you want to power a couple of op amps in, say, a little portable preamp or something that requires plus minus voltage rails and it doesn't draw that much current. You could further improve this circuit by then passing it into linear voltage regulators so that it's maintaining a steady DC output voltage, and also reduces the amount of hum and ripple that would be picked up from this type of circuit here, because it's again not very efficient when it's rectifying only the half pulses. Also with that, these capacitors in this sort of arrangement here have to be a lot larger than they would be in a full wave rectification or full wave bridge rectification. So you could get away with 1000 microfarad here quite fine, but you'd probably be better off, unless you're going to use linear regulators on the outputs here, with 2200s. So you get the smoothest amount of DC on the output here with very little ripple. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this transformer. You don't have to, you can just use a plug pack, but this is going to represent a plug pack. So what I'm doing here is involving messing around with the mains wiring. So if you're doing something similar along at home, you're doing so at your own risk. Just remember, basic electrical safety please. And I'll connect up a couple of diodes and the transformer to a breadboard, and we'll have a look on the oscilloscope on the output here what our waveforms look like, and we should see one positive going peak, a dead spot, and in that dead spot a negative going peak and a dead spot, etc. So let me get this quickly breadboarded up and we'll have a look. Okay, so here's my setup. Got a couple of 1N4004 diodes here. The anode of one is connected to the cathode of the other, and that goes onto one side of the transformer winding. And I've got a scope probe on each of the other ends of the diode there. This being the negative going side, this the positive going side, which is coming off the 12 volt secondary winding of this transformer, with its primary going through the dim bulb. Now I've only done this just to help prevent any damage during short circuits if that ever happens. So I'll turn the dim bulb on, it's not bypassed. Get a dim glow, that's only because of the magnetic flux going on inside this EI core transformer. And that's our output on our scope screen, DC coupled on both channels. The yellow trace is measuring the positive diode, which is the first one, and the blue trace is measuring the negative diode, which is the second one. So as we can see, we've got a dead spot here, and then it goes to a peak, and conversely on the negative we've got a dead spot during that peak. So this is D1 conducting, the upper diode, and this is D2, the lower diode, no longer conducting. Then D1 stops conducting on the other half cycle and D2 starts conducting, and then the cycle repeats all the way through. So that's without any smoothing added to the output. Now I could add a couple of capacitors when I can find what I've done with them and plug them into the board, and we'll just see what the DC output looks like. Well, it looks a mess, but I've got two 2200 microfarad capacitors connected in the standard bipolar fashion, just with these clip leads to the ground, and one of each side to the negative and the positive respectively. So I'm just going to double check that my diodes are connected to the correct side of each capacitor. So the cathode of D1 should connect to the positive of this, and the anode of D2 should connect to the negative of this, and each negative and positive of these two capacitors here should go to ground, which it does, or the other side of the transformer. So with the dim bulb still in circuit, we should see this go bright for a split second and then dull down as the capacitors charge, or not. So if we look at the DC content on the scope screen now, we can see that, well, we've got an imbalance, but on the positive going side we've got about 16.4 volt RMS DC, and it looks relatively smooth, and about the same story on the negative. If I decrease the time base, we can't see any noise or anomalies. And if we look on the multimeter, we can see in DC we've got 15.8, 15.9. But we've also got to remember that the dim bulb is in circuit. But if we do the math, 12 volt multiplied by 1.414 to get the DC component after rectification and smoothing will be closer to 16 volts. So that equals 16.9 volts. So the scope is pretty much more closer to being accurate than the multimeter is. So if I carefully, with this still powered up, move my multimeter probe over to the other capacitor on the positive side where this probe is, apart from the multimeter probes being backwards, we've got about roughly the same voltage on the other side. So it's at least somewhat even. I can even at this point bypass the dim bulb and we should see that voltage come back up, which comes more closer to our calculated voltage. So the dim bulb was limiting the current going into the transformer, which was limiting the voltage at the secondary, which was also limiting our output voltage. So for a simple little circuit like that, it's pretty neat. It does the job. However, it's not very efficient, and it's not as efficient as using a center tap transformer with a full wave bridge rectifier. So we'll just make that point clear now. However, if you're just powering, say, a preamp or a bunch of op amps, whatever the circuit may be, that doesn't draw any more than like 200 mA of current, this solution is perfectly fine. It's not suitable for powering power amplifiers because half-wave rectification here just does not have the current capabilities to supply a power amplifier. So let's summarize this video and close it out. So to summarize, we have our plug pack here, 12 volt AC output. It can be any AC output, it's only just an example. And two half-wave rectifiers back to back like this, with one end of the winding as our common ground 0 volt reference point. Now, as I said, you could get away with 1000 mica capacitors here for the filters. You might want to add 100 nanofarad as well across them, just to improve high frequency filtering. And as I said, if I just make a couple of modifications here to the circuit and then run them through a couple of linear regulators, for instance, like a 7.9 and a 7.8 respectively, and then you'd get a smooth positive and negative voltage rail here on the output. So I don't know why I wrote 7.8 7.855. So let's just write this like 7.812, 7.912. Okay, so we'd have a reasonably steady plus minus 12 volts on the output with roughly a 16 volt and minus 16 volt input. And that's it. That's how we can get a dual rail supply off of a single winding transformer. I hope someone found this video interesting and useful at the same time. Catch you next time. I'm the Astro 30, and if you enjoyed this video, please remember to go down below, like, comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, this is the Astro 30 saying see ya, thanks for watching, have a great day.